I'm excited to have you today to interview you. You're the Instagram queen, as we know, and to be honest, when I started online, last year in the MLSP, I was, jumping around, different strategies, and everything seemed to be, really, really complicated. I was like doing, trying to do Facebook ads, and it was just too complicated for me, especially when you're just getting started. And then, Instagram came out, and you were doing all these webinars, contests on Instagram. And it seemed, really simple. And that's the first strategy that I started to generate leads with. And, ever since, when I have, someone coming in, in my lead system pro, and they're asking me, what's the most simple strategy that you can recommend? And, Instagram is, still, the easiest one. So can you tell us a little bit, about your background and your story, how you got started online and in the network marketing industry itself?
Okay, awesome. Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate you and what you're doing, sharing this kind of information with people. Seriously, that's a huge, huge thing. So you're changing lives. That's what I love about that. Well, how did I get started? Let's see. I was a cocktail waitress, and actually one of my customers, we became, we're now engaged, but my boyfriend at the time, introduced me to network marketing. And at the same time, I was working a graveyard. I worked from 8 o'clock at night until 7 o'clock in the morning. I was a single mom of 3, and we weren't living together yet. But I did decide to just go ahead and join him because he asked me. I didn't want anything to do with it, but I decided to join anyways. And to make a long story short, I failed miserably. I did eventually try. He took me on a trip to Spain, Italy, and France, which he had won with the company we were in. And I kind of changed my mindset to a point where I was like, okay, yeah, I can do this. But then, of course, I kind of hit my head against the wall when I was trying to approach my friends, my family. People were like, yeah, right, April, come back to me when you're rich, So I didn't have much influence, and why would I? I dropped out of high school twice. I was a single mom of 3. I was pregnant at the age of 17. So not many people really wanted to listen to me, especially when it came to business. I wasn't very successful in my life. So I ended up, going online, trying to anyways. I spent a lot of money on things that did not work. At one point, I had spent $2,000 on MySpace pay-per-click. And lost all my money. I had no idea what I was doing. I was marketing a replicated website of my company. It had no capture page, just thinking that maybe somebody would buy something. No target audience, no nothing. I just put it out there and was like, buy something. I'm like, this could change your life. That's what I said. The products and stuff. So, after losing money, trying things, so many different things that just were not working. In fact, I didn't even have a Facebook. I didn't have a Twitter. I didn't even know what a URL was. I came across a system, My Lead System Pro, which you're also a part of. And it was a Facebook training I remember going through, and at first seeing this first Facebook training. I was doing like a traffic exchange. I'm sure you know what that is, where you click for credits. So I was clicking for credits, just got out of work. I'm laying in bed. And I'm just trying to get some leads for my business. I'm trying anything, right? So I come across this Facebook training, and at first I was like, yeah, I don't even know what Facebook really is. I'd been on it, but I never really did anything on it or even looked at it. I opened an account and never looked at it again. So I was like, all right, it says Facebook's a cash cow on here. I guess I'll check it out. And if it's really free, then that's great. So I opted in, and I was a little hesitant at first, but I just opted in anyways. And I started watching the training, and it just light bulb started to really go off for me. I started to realize that I was doing everything wrong. I did need training. I did need skills. And that's where I started. That was like the turning point in my business. And I started with Facebook marketing. I started generating some leads here and there. And then really what I was doing was just putting videos out. That's all I was doing. So Facebook was my start. Videos on Facebook. I didn't even have a fan page for my first 90 days. I then, of course, incorporated a fan page, YouTube channel, and all of that. But like I said, I didn't know what any of that stuff was. URL, I was like, what's a URL? I had to ask Google everything. So, yep, that's where I started, and I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I stuck with it.
So you started to simply uploading videos to Facebook straight without even having a YouTube channel or anything like that, right?
Yep. I had nothing. If you look back at my YouTube, it was way after I started. that I actually had set that up. I think I set it up in like September, and I'd started in June. So yeah,
Yeah,
June of two.
so having a system like Mileage System Pro definitely was like a turning point, and the training that they have is and you came across like in 2010 or something around that, right?
I think, yeah, definitely. I mean, 2010, I remember like feeling like overwhelmed and a little frustrated. And I think a lot of the times people don't give it enough time, because you have so many different moving pieces when it comes to marketing that you can't possibly understand all of it in even 90 days. It's like too many moving pieces. You're going to school. It's just like going to school and thinking you're going to be a surgeon. You want to go to school and be a surgeon. Well, that's probably going to take you, 10 to 12 years to become a surgeon. So that's how you kind of got to think of it. And I just stuck with it. I was very consistent, and I just started moving forward and kind of went crazy even at some points where I just went crazy and started taking really huge, massive action in my business.
Yeah, and action is definitely the key. I see a lot of people, they come online. They, just had one of my team members, he just dropped out of the company, and I just said he's been like probably for 90 days in the company, effort into it, and just quits. And it's really not how you do this business. So for some people it takes years to become successful, really. And so yeah, definitely, I think that that you really stuck with the strategy, and with uploading videos to Facebook, and really moving forward with this definitely was like something huge for you. So
Yeah.
Another question, what piece of advice did you wish you knew when you got started online?
Oh my goodness, there's so many of them. That's a hard one. I just think the best advice for me, like sometimes we want things so quickly, we want things to happen so quickly, and I wanted things to happen quickly. I think just really at first, like when I first started, I didn't realize that I needed to like show up. So I wasn't showing up to everything. Like, with My Lead System Pro, they have all the training and the wake up calls. So I wasn't actually doing that for my first, like, at least 60 days. I didn't even know they had it. Like I did, but I didn't realize what it really was. And so for me, I think that was the biggest thing. Just show up, just start showing up. I think that's really ultimately, I think as Zig Ziglar says 80%, but I really think it's 90% of success. Show up to your business and show up to all the training that you can.
Yeah, that's what I think, that's the big difference that made for you, that you started to really show up and to plug into the community. And because there are always there are so many leaders to help you out. I mean, the Facebook group, and the daily wake up calls, and the training, and some people are just not showing up, and they're wondering why doesn't it work. And so yeah.
Well, that's why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work if you don't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I showed up. Actually, that's how I became a part of the executive management team and MMT even. I just got noticed because I was showing up for everything. And the more you get noticed, obviously, the more recognition and the more exposure you're going to get.
Yeah, definitely. And when you actually, when you start to show up and you see that, there are so many people out there, and that, it actually works, because, a lot of people come online, they see, oh, it may not work, or, something's not, something's wrong with it. And, a lot of people have, that, negative mindset towards things. And when you really start to plug in, so you definitely, and you get recognized as well. And, the different leadership levels, MMT, EMT, that's amazing. So, I had a question. Someone asked, one of my followers, what was your driving force that always pushes you to take action, and also who is your role model, and why? What's a lot of people do not even have a big enough why to push themselves in their business. What was yours? What drives you every single day?
My kids, obviously. I mean, I never saw them when I was working at the casino, so that was a big, big motivator for me. But I think the biggest motivator was my fear. I know, like, a lot of times we have a why. You need a why for doing this for your business, and that obviously is really great. But I think what was really, really forcing me was my fear of what would happen if I didn't run, go to my business every day and, take action in my business, like what would my life be like if I didn't continue the path, and just stuck with the path that I was already currently on. And that was really like the big motivation for me, because I knew that if I just continued, the life that I was living with, working at the casino, running around in high heels all night for 10 hours a night, not seeing my kids, I really could see that, I probably wasn't going to be able to do that job much longer with my health, because I had back issues. But I was really starting to, I would really look at that, and I would really visualize that, and I would realize that I needed to hurry up and really take action in my business, because I did not like the picture that I saw ahead of me. So I think, so for a lot of people, they're looking, they want a why. I understand whys are great. You should have one. I really wanted to be at home with my kids, but I think really look deep down inside, and sometimes people can't smell themselves. They don't really understand. They don't see the muck that they're really in. And I think really open your eyes and see your life as it is now, and see your life as it is in 5 years if you don't do anything right now to change your life. Because either you're going to stay the same, or it's going to be really bad, because we are not promised tomorrow. Nobody is. And not to mention, you don't know if you're going to have a job to go to tomorrow, or the next day, or 5 years from now, or, something happens, God forbid, your health changes, so things happen in life. And I think it's really important that we wake up to that and use our fear as a really good motivator.
Yeah, a lot of people, they think that if they have a 9-to-5 job, they have security in life. And, you can lose this job, any day. You have to create your own security, like your own business, to work, for yourself, instead of, building someone else's dream. And, having your own business, this, online business is definitely, the game changer for anyone who wants to break free.
Let's ask yourself this: even if it took you 10 years, would it be worth it?
Yeah.
And if it's not, then we got a problem. If it doesn't matter how long it's going to take you. If it took you 20 years, would it be worth it? To be free, literally, and have security and, have residual income, it's worth it. But if it's not worth it for a particular person, then they're not being real with themselves,
Yeah, instead of slaving for, 20 years on a 9-to-5 job, not being able to see your family and your kids, seeing them growing up. And
yeah, people plan more for their vacations than they do their retirement. And I don't think people really realize, especially here in the United States, there is no retirement. Like we're in trouble here, So it's like, okay, guys, you got to have something. So even if it took you 20 years, it's better than, nothing, because that's where a lot of people are headed.
Yeah, definitely. So, online you're known as Instagram queen. So, when you got started, Instagram probably didn't even exist. So what did you do, before Instagram, after you started, to gain some traction with Facebook, with Facebook videos? Did you start to create, a blog? You start, to become more, advanced. You started to know what URL is, and, really start to move in your business. Some people, they are jumping around, from strategy to strategy, from program to program, not being able to get, any results. So what would you recommend to someone who is, brand new, trying to find something that will work for themselves, like any strategy? What would you recommend?
Well, my strategy has always been blogging and video. I still to this day do that. It's not ever going to change, because I personally believe that any successful marketer, somebody who wants to come online, bring their business online, needs to brand themselves. And even if they're not planning on coming online, I think they should have a blog, because that's somewhere that their customers, their team, people can come and learn about them. And obviously, that's really going to make them more of a credible person when they're approaching somebody about their business. So blogging, video, does that immediately get people results? Not right away, but there's things that you can do, like promoted posts on your Facebook. You can put it on your Instagram and stuff like that. But you still, ultimately, you need to be at that point where you are doing those. So that should be your base, and then branching out to Instagram, Facebook, it should be, the big central, this is your house, is your blog, that's your home, your central piece of real estate. And then you're just branching out and you're putting your content on the social media, networks. you can still, like, Instagram's really great. You can create little like mini pieces of content on it, but ultimately you still need to have some place that people are going to be able to come and find you and really connect with you there. You know, you really have everything in one place. So you're not sending them to YouTube where they're seeing all the ads and, you know, all the other marketers and stuff like that. That should
so many distractions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so blog is definitely, something, when I came online and I started to, to dig really into My Lead System Pro, and I saw all the leaders inside, and I was like, what do they all have in common? They were all doing videos, and all of them had a blog. So, that's definitely, like your real estate online, where you actually, put people back to your blog, and, whatever you do, anything else like, Instagram, Periscope, Twitter, it's like, everything around your blog. So you always need to push people back to it.
Yeah.
So definitely. And when people, when someone, sees that you have a blog, they perceive you as an authority, not like just like any marketer that's trying to do something online. And when you have your own content out there, that's like, people are going to find you. And that's, a lot of people are asking, how does this attraction marketing thing works? And it's really, when you put the content out there, especially on a blog, and you will have people approaching you and asking you how to join your business, and stuff like that. So
yeah.
So instead of, a lot of people are spamming, Facebook groups, that's, how probably most of the people started out, and they are just wondering why this network marketing thing doesn't work. So
yeah, scratching their head. It does work as long as you do. I just think that people look at blogging and they think they think that they have to write all these crazy articles and stuff like that. And I think the misperception is totally wrong. I put a lot of video on my blog, more so than I do an article. I don't usually write articles. My articles consist of maybe like 2 to 3 paragraphs. So it's not super hard. You can manage it however you need to. If you're a good writer though, and you want to write a lot, you can. However you want to do it. If you want to put out 1 post a week, you can. You don't have to post and be super consistent if that's not going to be your strategy. But I say still have one. Still have a blog.
Yeah, and what My Lead System Pro have right now in place, like MLSP sites, is just, everyone, starting online, they don't have, to know any technical skills to set up a blog.
Yeah.
When I started out, I didn't really know what hosting was, how to set it up. So I just outsourced it, just do this for me. And, right now it's just super, super simple.
I still get in trouble with my hosting company. I still have all that problem. I'd way rather have somebody else handle that. I pay just alone for my hosting. I pay $100 a month just for my blog, my personal blog. That's how much I pay because I was getting so much traffic and stuff. I had to upgrade my hosting. Well, this it's included.
So you're going to be moving your blog also to the sites, right?
I'm going to create another blog probably. I've started it. I just haven't really finished it yet. But yeah, I'll have another one.
Yeah, and it's just, great. Some people are starting online, with little budget, but, inside My Lead System Pro, you have, your blog. You don't have to pay, crazy fees for hosting, the funnelizer, the CRM. I mean, it's just getting better and better, like every single, month, day. It's amazing. So, another question that I had someone ask, what do you think people trust in your ability and, they choose to follow you and, in your network marketing company? I think that answers the question, the blog, the attraction marketing, the positioning yourself online, right?
Marketing company. I think people will follow you ultimately because they see you as a leader. And it's the same thing. It's credible. People join leadership. So I know we hear all the time people join people. Well, they just don't join usually people. Usually this is the 2 things that people are lacking in their businesses right now in a network. If they're in a network marketing company, the things that they're lacking are leads and leadership. So if you can become the leader that you seek, people will ultimately want to join you because that's one of the things that they're lacking. So I get that question a lot. People want to know about My Lead System Pro and how does it work if you're just, sharing content and stuff like that. How do people join? That's it. You put out content, you become the leader because people are seeing you as a leader because you're putting content out and you become the authority, and then people will want to join you because that's what they're looking to join. They're looking to join the leader.
Yeah, definitely. So, leadership is, definitely agree that it's super important because, when people, they join network marketing companies, and I had someone approach me also, they joined a company and, they didn't have like really, a good sponsor, the sponsor who was like, spamming groups on Facebook and stuff like that. And, they didn't really want to do that. And that's why, people come across, systems like My Old System Pro where they can, get the leadership that they lack. And so definitely.
Yeah, exactly right. That's exactly right. And you surround yourself with other leaders when you're in the community. So even if you're not really necessarily like top earner status, you're surrounding yourself with other leaders that are. And obviously people will view you as, at their level because you are doing that. So.
Yeah, definitely. That's, one of my favorite quotes. You're the average of the 5 people that you hang around with.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. So awesome.
Well, another question I had, a lot of people, they have a lot of things going on in their lives, and the 9-to-5 job, they're trying to escape, having children, take them to school and stuff like that, a lot of different stuff. And what morning routine do you have to, to set your day and to get really into action?
Coffee. Coffee, and I usually go for a walk in the morning, just kind of clear my head, think about the things that I have to do. So my routine, it really starts the night before because I write down what I need to do for the day. Of course, I have a daily method of operation. I have kids, so yeah, it can be a little bit difficult. I'm not working a 9-to-5, so it would be different for somebody who is working a 9-to-5 probably. But I would say, start knocking out, if you're working a 9-to-5, start knocking out some of the stuff that you need to the night before. If your day is like from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and it's probably a good idea to start knocking out the next day, the night before, so that way you're getting your stuff out of the way and getting it out there. But yeah, that's what I do. I mean, I clear my thoughts. I do a little walk. I'll do some, when I'm getting ready in the morning, I always listen to like Audible or some type of motivational stuff while I'm just, in the bathroom getting ready like women do. And then, I just make sure I conquer the stuff that I need to get done. And if I have something that I absolutely have to get done, I make sure I get it done. I don't go to sleep before I do, and I have kids right now. My daughter's in 3 different dance classes, Girl Scouts, my son's in stuff, both of them. So we're busy in the evening even, and they have homework and so on. So I have to usually get everything done before they get home from school. But if I don't, even then I'm like, okay, we gotta keep going. And I schedule like a lot of my content these days is more live. So I do periscopes, I do webinars, live wake up calls and so on. And a lot of that stuff too, like I just have that set as a schedule, like time that I'm going to do it. So if I'm going to do a periscope, I'll do it around 8:30. If I'm going to do a webinar, then I'll do it after 9. So my kids are already pretty much in bed, and that's kind of where I get my stuff out.
Yeah, a lot of people, they're asking, how do you like prioritize things that you need to get done, the first thing that you need to do, and what are the probably the 3 key tasks that you do every single day, like clockwork?
Well, the 3 key tasks that everybody should do, it doesn't mean I do it every day. You should mail your list every day. You should put a piece of content out. I would say you should have at least 3 to 5 pieces of content that you put out throughout the day. So, you want to have, whether it be a video or a blog or both, some maybe like a motivational picture, something you're going to put out on Instagram. It could be a periscope. You always want to give like a little bit more, like a periscope, something that you just kind of put out there. So you can kind of vary it. It doesn't have to be periscope. It could be a hangout or an interview like you're doing or whatever. But 3 to 5 or 2 to 5 pieces of content, major pieces of content that you put out. Obviously you want to do like more images and stuff like that on Instagram, but just making sure that you get those major pieces of content out.
Yeah, well, another question, for someone who is brand new, you're doing like a lot of different content right now, since, like you're doing Instagram, Periscope, Hangouts. And, for someone who is brand new, like, would you recommend to start with something simple like Instagram, or to do paid advertising, or is just, too complicated for someone who's brand new?
I personally think paid advertising is too complicated for somebody who's brand new, just because I think it's complicated and I'm not brand new. Mostly because Facebook's always changing. It's always changing, and it can get frustrating for a new person. Plus, it can be also very costly if you don't do it right. So that's my thing too, is if I'm going to have a new person, let's say somebody joins me and I'm their coach, right? I'm going to have a brand new person come in. Yeah, I'll probably have them do something simple just to get kind of exercise with Instagram, have them set up a blog, and then obviously lay the groundwork for their business, because they have to brand themselves. So they have to be on social media. They got to set up a LinkedIn. They got to set up a Twitter. They got to set up, Instagram, Facebook, a fan page, all of that. And not to overwhelm you, but that's the groundwork. And this is actually something I talked about on today's wake up call. That part is like the hardest part. But once it's over, it's over. You've got the groundwork. Now it's just maintaining, putting out content, getting that, consistency going and all of that. But it's that groundwork. It's that laying that foundation. I think that's the hardest. And ultimately, if you can make it past that, then you have a very good chance of being very successful in your business. But yeah, that's usually where I will have people start, is just laying the groundwork, getting their account set up, their Instagram, their Twitter, their Facebook, their fan page, their YouTube channel, all that good stuff. And then, just getting it even set up, and then worrying about the branding part and all that later. But getting that done, and then obviously then populating that with content.
Yeah, I mean, set the foundations right. That's probably the most complicated things, and a lot of people get stuck with it. But set the foundations right, and everything's gonna run smoothly afterwards. And a lot of people they are thinking, I gotta spend a lot of time on social media, and the question is, you don't, because there's so much automation. Like when you post on Instagram, it goes like straight to Twitter, to Facebook, to fan page. And it's just amazing how it's all set up.
Yeah, you'll get overwhelmed if you do too much. I think that you have to, kind of develop a strategy that's going to be easy for you, so that way if you are short on time and you are working a job, you can put some automation, you can do some scheduling of your posts and stuff like that, and kind of get it done maybe more in a couple of days a week instead of every day a week, that kind of stuff. But yeah, you don't have to be, I focus on my main thing is Instagram. I branch that out to other stuff. Obviously, I do blog posts a couple times a week, and video too as well. So, and then I just make sure that I'm not sitting here like every day. I'm not like this big blog person. Like I blog every single day. I used to. I don't anymore. But you don't have to necessarily do that. You can put content out throughout the week, and then blog a couple times a week, and put a couple videos out as well. But focusing on a strategy is key. But ultimately, you have to have content. It's everybody's a content marketer. Everybody's a content marketer, because that's what's obviously going to attract people. So you have to put their content out. It's just, what medium are you going to use to do it? Are you going to use it as a blogging or video?
Yeah, and if you look at every company online, different major companies, like Google, Facebook, they all do, like you see, like companies like Amazon, eBay, they do, even I believe even eBay has like a blog or something like that when they put content or something like that, and they do advertising as well, like all the major companies out there. So
yeah,
content is really key.
You can focus only on Instagram if you want to do that. But to me, Instagram is something that you can do in a half an hour, 15 minutes a day, and be done. So what else are you going to do all day?
Yeah.
You can fit more time in. Obviously when you're learning it and getting, good at it, that's a little bit more time consuming. But once you learn it, it's something that you can do 15 to 30 minutes a day. So you should be doing other activities like creating a blog post or putting a YouTube video out. So a lot of times people are like, well, I'm just going to focus on Instagram. Well, that's great, but are you only going to work your business for 15 minutes to 30 minutes a day? Because that's a problem. I mean, you should be working, even if you're full-time, let's say you're full-time working at a job 9 to 5, you still should be putting an hour to 2 hours a day into your business. And if you can not possibly do that, and you need to find other days, like the days that you're off, to put more time in. That's just the way it is, depending on how fast you want to go. If you inch forward, then you're just going to get the, minimal results. If you leap forward, you're going to get massive results.
Yeah, I heard, someone said that, recently, if you can't work this business part-time, you're not going to be able to work this business full-time.
Yeah, it's true.
And the good news is, you do most of your marketing like, from a mobile. You don't even need, you don't even need a computer for that. Like Periscope, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Everything is like on mobile.
Yeah, everything pretty much now. That's why I love to do everything from my phone. I love it because I can be like yesterday, the day before yesterday, I was waiting for my daughter. She was in dance and I was doing a Periscope. I was putting content on I actually created like 3 images for my Instagram because I had a few hours to wait while I was waiting for her. And I was like just taking advantage of that time to have kind of quiet time, and get some stuff done.
Yeah, definitely. And you've got a course coming up like in October, November about
it will be first week in November. I'll be traveling in October a little bit, so it's going to have to be first week in November. But yeah, we're going to have that come out. And it's going to be awesome.
And you're going to be like talking, about, you've got already a course on Instagram, so it's going to be like more towards Periscope or towards like all the social media and everything.
Yeah, it's going to be a social marketing from your smartphone. It's going to be all social media, pretty much what I do in my business on a day-to-day basis, setting it up, laying the groundwork, and then obviously what I do and what you need to do to be very successful from your phone.
Yeah, and I think like, not a lot of people actually do that. Most of the people, they're kind of stuck in their computer. And, just like, I don't know any other person who's doing like everything from mobile like you do, because, and, there's lots that you can do from your mobile phone right now, comparing to, 5 years ago, you probably couldn't even do that. But right now it's amazing. So,
well, yeah, you can even do your blog post if you wanted to from your mobile phone, depending on how little. I mean, if it's little, I wouldn't really recommend it.
Yeah.
I've got a big phablet, so I could actually do that. And I've even sent emails up to my list from my phone and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm going to go over how to create your offer, everything. So it's going to be basically all about branding yourself and, creating your offer, getting leads, making money, monetizing that. I'm actually going to have as a bonus, my fiance, who's a 26-year network marketing veteran, is going to do like a prospecting training, not prospecting, but calling your leads training. So he's going to do all of that. So it's going to be a massive one. It's going to be Instagram was just a segment, and this is going to be like the big bazooka.
Awesome. So, what are some, closing points? So I think, like we're running for like 30 minutes or something like that. So what are some closing points that you can give to someone who is like, brand new or getting started? What are some pieces of advice that you can give to someone who's just getting started?
My biggest piece of advice is just understand that it's a journey. It's a journey, and let it be the journey. It's your path to success is a journey. Don't ever give up. It might seem like it's long. It might seem overwhelming. You might feel confused. You might start to feel all these different things, but understand that that's part of it. That's part of the journey, that you have to go through that. I think a lot of times people will have a misconception of success, and they think that success is easy, and it's not. So just understand that. And I think that that's one of the biggest things that people need to understand, that it's just going to take time. You got to continue the journey, and you have to never give up whatever you do. So that's my biggest tip for anyone. And then just leap forward, throw yourself in, stop overthinking stuff. One of the reasons why I'm so successful, and this has served me so well, is I don't think very much. I just start. And then it comes to me while I'm going. And so if you're somebody who has to have everything in place and it's got to be perfect, let me just tell you, just throw that out the window. That's going to hold you back. You're never going to get started. A lot of times that will actually even cripple people because they're afraid. They start overthinking things. They think it's got to be perfect before they can do it. You're going to be bad before you're good. So you have to just go for it and just understand that nobody's really watching right now anyways. So might as well take advantage of it and just get in the work. So that's my biggest things.
Yeah, progress over perfection.
Yeah. People do that. They'll just kill any chance they have themselves.
Yeah. That was me for some time as well. That's why, it's always, when I see a lot of people, they're trying to make everything perfect, I just tell them, just stop thinking about it, just go for it. And
yep, you got to do that. In fact, don't even watch your own videos at first because you'll probably scare yourself and you'll never put them out. That was one thing my mentor told me. He's like, April, just because I would watch the video and I'd be like, it's just so terrible. It's so terrible. And they were really terrible. In my opinion, they were. And he's like, just put it out there. You can improve it the next time. Just improve it the next time. Who cares? Just put it out there. You're done. Improve next time. That's what
yeah. My parents were watching my YouTube channel, and the first videos they were starting to watch, and my dad said to me, like, Jelena, go and watch your video. I was like, no, Dad, I'm not gonna watch it. It's a terrible one. He said, like, just go watch it and learn from it. And I was like, no, I'm doing better videos right now, so I'm not gonna watch it, by any means. So, yeah, definitely.
You can watch it after you get it out, but just make sure you get it out first. You want to make sure the sound, okay, I will take just make sure the sound is okay. Okay. Because I have put videos out where there's no sound and people are like, there's no sound. And I'm like, really? And there was no sound. I need the microphone working.
Yeah, that's something that you need to check for sure.
Yeah, see, we all have those problems.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, April. It was fun doing the interview with you. It was actually the first interview that I am ever doing, and it's so exciting to have you to be the first one. And you've got a lot of stuff going on, so I'm gonna let you go right now. Thank you so much for taking the time, and well, thank you so much.
Well, you rocked it. Good girl. You did awesome. Thank you, Jelena. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, thanks.